Welcome to American Dream Life, where we learn how to grow our beliefs and retain our heritage. And today with me, I have amazing Toni Beck, founder of Embracing Vision. I've been recently a guest on her podcast, on her platform, and we also so excited because her book with the same name, right, coming out today. Is it the
So,
same name?
so the name of the book is actually called The Art of Unlearning.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
that's great. So yeah, you will definitely will share more about the book, and let's start and share some more about your background, Tony.
Yeah, sure. So I am new to this platform as about, let's see, in May, I started the podcast Embracing Vision, and it just is a journey that I wanted to share of my own healing and the journey I took to find myself and my mission while going through this. It's been a lot of fun just interviewing a lot of amazing people. And that's really what I kind of wanted to share with everybody at this time. Is a lot of people are dealing with changes with, the pandemic and just kind of as things are shifting around us, that
Definitely.
we don't need to be a victim to our circumstances, that we get to choose what we want and that we can go after that. And it's been, when you really dig deep and you find that place and you find what you're meant to do, it just, things start falling into place and it brings so much joy and happiness and love into your life. And that's really what I wanted to share with people. Today, I was part of a collaborative book and it was released today on Amazon. And for a short time, it's only 99 cents to purchase. So the link, I did give you the link for the
I
book.
will
It's
post
called,
it in the comments.
yes. Yeah, no, and it's a great book. It really shares a lot of journeys of people who have gone through trials or overcome great difficulties and triumphed on the other side. And so it's very inspiring and uplifting. And it really just helps you look at those things that sometimes we believe or buy into, sometimes without even meaning to, and adjusting those beliefs so that we can get to where we want to.
That's beautiful what you share. Would you mind sharing a little bit more of your journey that kind of brought you to that point of creating Embracing Vision podcast platform and collaborate on the book? There were some
Yeah.
events in your life that you thought that that's the end pretty much, and you decided to pick up the pieces and move forward and creating amazing things in your life.
Yeah. So about 2 years ago, I was in a car accident. And in the car accident, it gave me a traumatic brain injury and it also damaged my eye. And so, how I was able to see was drastically different before and after. It was, and it still is at times, it's definitely at a better spot now. But I was a single mom raising 4 kids. So it was very overwhelming to just have all of that on my plate and not being able to see like I used to be able to. It's kind of hard to explain. I could still see, but the rate at which my brain would get the different images from my eyes were different. And so trying to see became nauseating and painful, like actually painful. Um, and just simple tasks like driving or going to the store or having to do housework or take care of my children just didn't work like it used to. It wasn't something that I was able to do. And so I, with a head injury, there's not a lot that they have available to help people with. They tell you to go home and rest. And there are different therapies out there, but I really had to search for them. So I just, for the first 2 weeks, I slept a lot and I thought it was going to get better um, and it just kind of started getting worse. So that's when they told me that vision could be affected with concussions and So it was almost 6 weeks later when I went in for emergency eye surgery because my eye was actively trying to detach at that point, um, because the retina had torn. Anyways,
Sure.
so after a while, and with my neurologist, he recommended that I possibly just go on disability. And, work was hard because I had a computer job, and looking at a computer screen at the same way wasn't doable like it was before. And I did start going down that path and started looking at the paperwork and trying to fill it out. And I just realized this wasn't what I wanted for me and my children. And so through some introspection and through some, I just decided that I was going to get better. And I pursued probably 10 different things at once, different therapies and different things. And there was appointments, it felt like almost every day. And I was able to get to the point where I am now. And so I am very excited. I remember one specific occurrence when I was in a doctor's office and doing balance testing, and they were measuring how many times like I fell over, because I had to stand on one leg, and my eyes were closed, and it was easier at that point for me to be stable with my eyes open. But when my eyes were closed, like I couldn't keep my balance, and I just kind of like dropped down into my heart, and I just really felt into it, and I knew that the ground wasn't moving. And I just clutched onto that knowledge and just kind of created my own stability. And it was almost instantly that I was um, able to find my stability in that moment. And from there, that practice of just really diving deep and finding that knowledge, and diving into my heart and what I know in almost a sacred manner, um, has helped me find stability in relationships that were struggling. Um, and yeah, it's been a wonderful journey.
Thank you so much for sharing. And what stood out for me from that deeper share was you decided, you
Mhm.
knew that you have a choice, and
Yes,
one thing, and choose actually to because your brain was injured, to get yourself out of your head and go to your heart.
exactly. Yeah,
So, and you found your answers there. You knew that you don't have it, like, yeah, the brain is not functioning as it used to, so it's almost like, yeah, that's the alternative. But you knew that that's the alternative. Many people, even if they don't have the brain injury, they choosing to be in their brain, and lacking themselves, that they don't have a choice. They cannot decide for themselves, to find solution for what they looking for. They keep looking outside, and you did. You asked for support. You had mentioned you were in 10 different things at the same time. So I applaud you for your courage and perseverance and bravery, with 4 kids and 10 different things at the same time, just to get on your feet as quickly as possible. So that's amazing. Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you. Yeah.
yeah. I feel like so often people do get stuck in their heads, and if we really can drop into our hearts, that is where the strength and the stability and the knowledge is. We don't give our hearts as much credit as we need to. Um, but if you look at neuroscience, there are actually more nerve endings in your heart than there are in your brain. And not that our brain isn't useful, and I'm very grateful for both of my heart and my brain, but um, it is a powerful tool that everyone can tap into.
Sure, definitely. Yes, and we're talking on American Dream Life about, and we share about the purpose, how you discover with that your purpose. So what are you feeling at this moment after that deep discovery, deep dive into your heart? Where do you feel that your purpose is at this point?
So, my purpose right now, I really want to be a reminder for people, that we are not limited by our pain. I feel like this was an experience that was given to me to help me grow, to tap back into my heart and to find that strength and to create the life that I want, to not be limited by the things that happen to us. And so often as a society, I feel like we try to avoid pain and we get stuck in victimhood, and we don't need to. It's really going through those experiences and finding our way through the other side that helps us find our strength. And we are given gifts that we would have never been able to have or experienced or understood without having those experiences. So I feel like my purpose right now is with the, especially with how things are going, and so many people feel like they're in flux and having difficulty with changes, that that doesn't need to hold you back. That the freedom is finding your purpose, finding your vision, and going into your heart and making a difference and finding those connections. So I'm doing the podcast. I get to, I can't think of a better thing that I would rather do than just interview amazing, wonderful people like yourself and hear different stories that help inspire others and hopefully, bring people together and help others get out of that stuck place where they feel like there are no other options and that, they don't have any choice, because there's always a choice. It's just a decision away. And so I'm doing the podcast. I'm also starting coaching to help people through this journey. And who knows what else the future will bring. So I have this book. I'm working on a couple more in the future, and we'll just see where this journey brings me. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. It's already amazing journey, and what you get to create in the near future, that will be amazing. Definitely, you on purpose right now. So definitely, uh, people and situation will show up for you to support you in that journey, to keep moving forward and create that unity. It's a big thing, especially right now. First, discovering that we do have the choices, and make that choice to operate from our hearts, not our minds anymore, and also to embrace our vision, get clearer on it, and keep moving forward, finding that purpose that we get here, finding our gifts. And definitely, it requires some support. Yeah, so definitely. And what I want to share, like, always curious, that the other part of the tagline for American Dream is how to retain the heritage. And why I'm kind of immigrant myself, from Poland. And what I found being in a community of immigrants in the United States for over 26 years, I see that there is some fear showing up many times when they coming to the United States, that if they start assimilating more with American culture, they might lose their own identity, their own culture, and they will forget about it. And they insisting on stacking with their own culture and not experiencing the new American culture. And it becomes a struggle for a lot of people. And what I'm trying to do with my platform here, to actually grow those beliefs, to show that there are a lot of possibly maybe not first generation, but maybe second or third generation immigrants, children, that doing thriving in this country, and they still can, feel like some roots, that where they coming from. So I would love to ask you, what are your roots? Are you like 100% American, or you do have some?
So I can't say that my relatives came from one place. I have some, I believe I have some Russian Drew,
Hmm.
and there's a little bit of Indian, and just mixture of European countries.
Interesting.
Yes. So there is a little bit of Spanish that's in there also.
Mhm.
So that was fun. In college, I was able to go back and do a study abroad in Spain. And just knowing that some of my ancestors came from there, even though it was quite a long time ago, so I don't know a lot of their stories, which I wish that I knew more. Um, I did feel a connection and just grew to really love that area and those people. And as I have with most areas I've gone to, I love to travel and to explore new cultures and different ways of doing things. I think there's
That's
so much.
so.
Yeah.
What is your favorite culture that you feel like at home,
I
other than
really
America?
I really love Spain. I would love to go back there and share that with my children and take them back there one day. I mean, we'll see what happens,
Mhm.
especially now. That's not in the immediate future at all. But
Sure.
um, I really did love Spain. I was able to stay with a cute little family, and they took me all over and just kind of treated me like their own. So it was a lot of fun. Um, after I also did spend some time in Japan and working with Japanese people, and I really love their culture too. You know, I love the differences in the cultures and just how much you can learn about your own culture and your own identity by being immersed in a different country and a different culture. Um, the Japanese culture was definitely, there's a lot more differences here than there are there. One thing that I really loved about the Japanese people when I was working with them, and this was quite a long time ago. I mean, it was 20 years ago when I was in college, but they really just band together and help each other out in a way that, doesn't happen here as much.
Hmm.
So they would go out of their way to make sure that everybody was taken care of, which was really fun to see.
I love what you shared, definitely. And I'm always about, embracing those differences and also picking what's the best from each culture. And what you share about the Japanese culture, it wouldn't be lovely if in America we could get more united and really help each other. It's like so humane and not everybody for themselves, so individualistic. And they start realizing, I know that a lot of people more and more start realizing that, especially in the pandemic, that there's some certain situation they can not be by themselves anymore, that they
Yes.
have to look for support and breaking through some of the limited beliefs that they can be supported, that there are kindness. So I start kind of recognizing, even in my own word, how much kindness other people have for other people, going, like you had mentioned, going their ways. I recently got some idea that um, I want to do something nice for outpatient clinic that went above and beyond their duties to support. My mom had some situation, and we were there, and they approved me to actually, in the crazy times, to be with her, to make her feel comfortable. So that in itself, my heart was singing that I was able to be close with my mom. And what was happening there, they were so caring and so loving, and went above and beyond their duties. So I felt like compelled to do something. So decided to stop
Mm.
by the local coffee shop and order some pastries and coffee for them. And the lady, she's like, I supposed to have so much notice if I have to put together some bigger order and stuff. But she wasn't like really complaining or like, no, I won't do it, go somewhere else. She felt she can do it, and she did it in a few minutes. She put together everything for me, and I appreciate her for that. I kind of interrupted her schedule and just show up at the coffee shop and ask her to do extra work. And
Yeah.
went and delivered the pastries and stuff, and it come with a lot of kind of gratitude from me, and to people like in reception. They were happy to receive it, and I started hearing some words. Oh, you so kind. It was unexpected, and my heart was singing. I wasn't doing that for show off or something. It was just the intention of showing that kindness back, kind of giving
Oh,
what I receive in kindness. And that was just amazing experience. My heart was singing with it. So and so that expectation, when you kind of kind, kind of breaking through myself, that somebody may be not kind, so let's not be kind to them. And actually, even with that story, there was a person in the security that she wasn't kind of kind person. She
Oh
was
no.
make things a little bit more difficult. And I was determined to treat her with kindness, and she accepted actually pastry.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
So sometimes that's how you can win over, instead of being mean to somebody because they mean to you. They kind of, take them by surprise, by a good surprise of being kind. And sometimes it's possible that they actually shift. They realize some like a light
Yeah,
bulb lit, that it's not about you. Maybe they just had a bad day or bad morning, and something was happening and their mind was preoccupied with something else, and they were frustrated with themselves, and all of a sudden they couldn't hold that anymore, and they kind of taking on you, and you kind of surprised. So when you pick that energy from them, that and start kind of reacting instead of responding, it definitely can create some commotions and conflicts and
yes,
these situations. So when you really kind of standing in your power and not taking that personally, whatever other person experiencing in that moment, and really be there for them to support, witness their situation, they definitely can shift. If not at that moment, they eventually they might, you possibly made their day. Maybe you were the
exactly.
first person that smiled to them, or said some kind of word to them, and eventually they realize that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I think making that decision of who you want to be in this world and not letting others' decisions, make you react in a way that you wouldn't want to otherwise is so powerful and so strong. And it's really just taking back control of, who we are and who we choose to be. And it's very powerful. So,
Sure, definitely. Yeah, taking the true control, because many times we think that if we kind of operating from ego or giving away the power, then we have control. I know how much control, yeah, people not recognizing when they giving away the power, that
mhm.
they don't no longer have the control. They hoping for, praying for the best, that the people will support them, and that they will not hurt them. And then, it's happening that then they are operating from more ego when they get hurt, that I cannot trust anybody anymore. That person hurt me. Hello, in the first place, you gave away your power. You gave away your control. So don't play from the victim perspective. Play
Yes.
from the responsibility perspective. Forgive that person, that they took advantage of you because they felt, well, you gave them, so they can take control. It wasn't the way you want them to take control, so it's on you, not on them.
Exactly. Yeah.
And don't have that ego, big ego, that you just get at them, for doing that to you, and or just hiding somewhere, like not, because you start all of a sudden your mind might be going to crazy places of like everybody probably the same, each culture is the same, I cannot have anybody that is decent or kind. And yeah, so it's that journey, going back like you described at the very beginning, really finding those answers inside of us, and that's what it should be, from finding answer from inside, and then what we get to experience in our reality outside. So we cannot keep shifting outside world, uh,
Mhm.
to try achieve control. We can only achieve control when we go deeper inside of us and find the answers, and then we in control. We in control, and then we're not allowing to give away the power or coming from the ego. Um, and then we don't really have, because ego is doing for us, and we don't have much control either.
No. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so definitely. Yeah. Right. So, yeah, we know about the book. We've been jamming for about 24 minutes. What would be the like a final word of wisdom quote, your favorite quote that you would love to share with the audience?
The first thing that comes to mind to me right now is by small and simple things to great things come to pass.
Wow.
It's a scripture,
Mm.
and it is so powerful because if you just keep making those little steps every day, before you know it, you've gone a lot further than you ever thought. Because a year ago, I never thought where I'd be right here, right now. I always, wanted to be a part of a book, or to write my own book. And I, especially at this time, it wasn't something that I thought would happen. And just kind of revisiting some of those things just transpire to make it happen when you make those decisions. It really does start when you make the decision and you're firm and you know that you're going to make it happen. Um, things do just start coming to you. And I am very grateful. And there's days and moments that are still very difficult for me, and times where like I just can't drive and my kids get frustrated, and you know whatever it is that you're struggling with, don't let it control you. Just keep doing the small things that you can each day, and before you know it, you will have something wonderful and amazing before you.
Yeah, thank you. That's beautiful. Yeah, I couldn't say better.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, thank you so much for today. That was amazing conversation, and thank you for sharing you with us and the community of American Dream Life. And looking forward to some future conversations. And so excited to get a hold of the book that is released today. And I will
Yeah.
include in the comments the link to Amazon. You can check on it. So I highly recommend checking definitely the book today, and also checking the website and the podcast. There's definitely, I love every time I have a minute, I have on my iPad the application Embracing Vision, and just click and I might be doing something and just listening to the podcast. It's really awesome place to get some inspirations and from others and their journeys, and I would be picking some golden nuggets. So I highly recommend checking Embracing Vision, Tony's podcast. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're
Thanks for
welcome.
having me on. Thanks.